There's one problem that I continue to see with every new client that I come across. I'll share my screen and show you directly what I'm talking about here. So what is wrong with this pipeline? Give you a second to think. The answer is this pipeline is a wish list. And I'm seeing this more often than I should be seeing this. The problem lays in this first stage here, and you can already see it by the name. It says attempting. And this is something that happens in most companies. They use the deal pipeline for deals where they're like trying to do business. Maybe somebody is like starting a business and they might need their services. Or they talk to their brother-in-law and he wants to do business. So that's going to be an opportunity. Another one, we had coffee with someone. They talked about that they liked our services. All right, a deal. And then there's also like these wish list items where it's like, seems like a really cool company to work for. You know what? I'm going to create a deal for that. Well, the problem with this is that, for example, there's just a handful of deals in this pipeline. Right now we have $230 in pipeline here. But as the pipeline name itself here says, this is just a great story. This is not a real pipeline. And that's something I want to specifically talk about in this video. My name is Jasper. I'm a certified HubSpot consultant, and let's get into it. So the main issue here is partly mindset, partly habit, I think. A lot of teams treat the deal pipeline like their universal funnel. Everything goes in, and hopefully something will come out at the end of the day. That's not really a pipeline. It's more like a junk drawer. Another way to look at deals that is more accurate is deals are real commitments. Maybe smaller commitments, but real commitments nonetheless. And leads are signals. Somebody gave us a signal, or we observed a signal somewhere that shows us that there might be an opportunity there. Notice the difference here? So there are also different objects within HubSpot, and they deserve a different treatment. And this is the one conceptual mistake that really creates a mess. So what does this mess exactly look like, you might ask? So open any real deal pipeline, flirt with over 200 deals that are actually more like unqualified inbound, maybe some SDR experiments. And as I said, someone's brother-in-law who asked about pricing once. The result for this is that the forecast numbers are meaningless. Reps are drowning in deals that aren't really deals to begin with. They open their pipeline, they have over 100 deals to their name, and only a handful of hours in a day that they can like really work on those. Whereas most of those deals shouldn't be there to begin with. So the solution to this is a two-pipeline architecture. Let me explain. So when we go back to our deals overview here, so this pipeline is what it shouldn't look like. Now, a better setup is something like this. And notice how the difference is really in this like first stage here, where the first stage here is discovery call scheduled. That assumes that we already qualified someone and we already have a real discovery call on the schedule. So part of that is still process internally. You want to make sure that before that discovery call gets scheduled, that there at least was like a short connect call where we checked like some basic qualifying frameworks. For example, BAND, where the B stands for budget, the A stands for authority, the N stands for need, and the T stands for timeline. It's one of the simpler ones, but it would be one of the minimal checks to do before actually creating a deal, making sure that you have all of those. Now you might ask, where the heck do I keep my wish list then? It's a very good question. So that is where the leads pipeline comes in. And if you want to make it a little bit easier for your sales team, always recommend them to work in the sales workspace. So when we open this here, they get a really nice workflow that they can work through. So within companies, it's a perfect place, for example, to manage their target accounts. Then under leads, anything that they're specifically working. And obviously from the marketing end of the company, you want to make sure that you also automatically add new leads when, for example, somebody fills out a form on the website or somebody asks during a webinar to be connected with a sales rep for some more information or walkthrough of your product or service. And then once we have this lead pipeline, this is perfectly designed to do that initial outreach and qualification. When we take a quick look at the stages here, we have new, attempting, connected, qualified, and disqualified. So that means that we can really focus on reaching out to people and trying to figure out, like, do they qualify according to, for example, our band framework. The workflow goes something like this, and I have a specific video about the lead pipeline setup and how to use it and everything. I'll link that up here. So I want to keep this short for this part of the video. So basically you reach out to someone, becomes attempting, HubSpot does it automatically. As soon as that person replies to you, they get into connected, and then after you had a little bit of back and forth, you're going to decide whether they're qualified or disqualified. If they're qualified, at that time you will create your deal. Simple enough. And another upside here is that we can really segment our list as well. So for example, by event here, so at the top here we have a couple of tabs. We can add as many tabs as we want there. These are specific for your user, so like every sales rep can have their own. For example, let's say we go to inbound 26, and I should actually change this to unbound 26 now, where I, by the way, will be one of HubSpot's official unbound insiders. So definitely like this video and subscribe to the channel, so we will see all about that, as I will be reporting live from Unbound in September. And here we can see all of those leads specifically from Unbound 26 in this case, for example. Now, another way to filter these, which is also a great way, is, as you can see here, we have labels for warm, cold. Maybe you want a separate view for just your cold leads. So you click on the plus here. We're gonna create a board view, and we're gonna name this cold leads. Save this. Now, as you can see, we still have all of our leads here. So the next thing we want to do is we want to make sure that we filter this on just the cold leads. And then we're going to save this. Now, this is one of the newer views in HubSpot, so it might be that things look a little bit different for you to set up this specific new tab and like where the save button is, etc. But this shows you like how we can create those different tabs. Whenever we go to leads, we will always open in the first tab here. So if you want that to be another tab, you can change these around. And this way, when we go to deals and then back to leads, we will get into our open leads. Now, once we have this set up, our leads pipeline, the leads pipeline is really there to do the dirty work, and the deal pipeline stays clean. That's the whole point of this. If you would like to learn more strategies you can use in HubSpot, like this one, for example, make sure to sign up for my HubSpot Excellence newsletter. I'll leave a link in the description for you so you can sign up there. So what is the strategic payoff here for this setup? When only qualified opportunities live in your deal pipeline, your forecast number actually means something. So before you made this switch, you might have had a $4 million pipeline at a 30% close rate because your sales team's wish list is still in the deal pipeline. And then after you switch to this model, where the wish list actually exists within the lead pipeline, you might be left with a $2 million pipeline at a 60% close rate. Same revenue at the end of the day, but very different conversations with your CEO, your board, and your investors. And that's what's actually at stake here. So the cultural shift is this. We want to make sure that creating a deal feels like a small commitment, not a way to log activity. The leads pipeline will absorb all of the activity logging. The deal pipeline is there to track real opportunities. I'm sure sales reps will resist this at first and they'll feel like their pipeline might have shrunk. Good, because it actually did. The phantom volume was lying to them too. And it produced a lot of clutter that really didn't give them the focus to get the deals that are worth it to the finish line. I'll quickly show you how this looks at the end of the day. So let's say we're working with Delta Airlines here. It's called Outreach. We're reaching out to some people there and eventually we connected with someone. We have a conversation and turns out that there's a real opportunity there. As soon as that's the case, we move this to qualified. And as you will see, HubSpot will automatically show us a prompt to create that deal. So now in this case, we can say this is a consulting contract we have with Delta Airlines. Now we can put in the amount that we think it will be. And then we can give it a priority here as well. We can put a close date to it, which we think would be accurate. So let's say we think this will close by the end of July. We choose the person that we're working with there. I'm just going to take a random contact here. Obviously, you want to make sure that this is a real contact at the company. And then we're going to create this deal. And now we know that this deal has been qualified. We went through the motions to qualify the deal. And it's one coherent flow from your lead pipeline to your deal pipeline. The next thing you want to do is have a look at your own deal pipeline in HubSpot. Try to determine how many of these deals would survive a qualification call, where we, for example, use the BAM framework. If the answer is anything less than, let's say 60%, 50%, you don't really have a deal pipeline. You have a leads pipeline that's basically mislabeled. And if you want to clean up the mess that's already sitting in your pipeline today, I also made a video on exactly that. I'll link it right up here. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.